Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to place for everything Rocket League with your hosts, K-Cube, AJ Binky, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. And listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle K-Cube, and today I'm joined by the photographer himself, AJ Binky. How's it going?
Hello.
We got a jam-packed episode today. We got a lot of catching up to do after our interview with Corelli for our 100th episode. So today we'll be talking about the NA Open Qualifier number 6, EU Open Qualifier number 5. We have a recap on that one, previewing number 6, which takes place this weekend. We'll be taking you around the world, catching you up on what we did not get to on the last episode, which is be about 2 weeks ago. We'll talk about the London Major and teams that are confirmed going to that, what spots are still available, and then we'll wrap up today's episode by talking about world implications. So, what teams have clinched their world spots, who are most likely to go, who still have a chance, what to look for this weekend and at the London Major to determine who will make it to Dallas. But without further ado, we got a lot to cover today. You ready to jump right in?
I believe it's Dallas Fort Worth. Okay.
I think you're right. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But yeah, I'm good to go. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, NA Open Qualifier number 6, our Swiss stage, our two teams that went 3-0 were G2 Stride and Shopify Rebellion. Our three teams going 3-1 are Gen G, Mobile One Racing, Space Station, and OG. And our three teams going 3-2 and squeaking into the playoff bracket are Moist Esports, Luminosity Gaming, and Dignitas. Next, our teams just missing the cut going 2-3 are M80, NRG, and Cloud9. Our three teams going 3-1 are G Buffo, the Snowmen, and Incorrect. And our two teams getting swept out of Swiss are 0-1 and Spate Esports. Any surprises for you in this Swiss stage?
I got distracted. I tried to open in the EU thing, and the link is just completely broken, I think. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
There is currently no text in this page.
Yeah, it's
That's
broken.
interesting.
It's broken.
Okay. I'll just go there from the
fix
NA
it.
one.
I'll fix it.
Okay, so where are we looking at for surprises right now? Swiss?
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, Swiss for NA.
Not really, no.
I mean,
let's see.
Really, the only thing that jumps out to me is Shopify going 3-0.
Yeah.
But they play Snowmen and take them to 5 games. They beat, Gen G. They take them to 5 games, and then they beat Space Station 3-1. Right? That's a pretty respectable ride. Whereas G2 took Incorrect, Moist, and then OG. So not necessarily an unheard of run for them, but something that heading into this event I didn't really see coming.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I expected Shopify Rebellion to be 3-0, but overall, it's not surprising. It's not super surprising.
Yeah, that's true. And then another one, the Swiss merchants themselves, M80, not even making it out of Swiss stage. This team has been an enigma since we first saw them go 3-0 in the first Swiss. They've never made it past the quarterfinals, and they don't even get a chance to do it here. So they didn't even make it to day 2 in this event. So an unfortunate way to end the season for them. NRG's been in my personal opinion pretty disappointing from their standards all season, and this is no different. They don't really make an impression. The only teams they beat are 0-1 and Incorrect. They lose to Luminosity. They lose to Dignitas. They get swept by Moist. So, I can only assume roster moves are coming as their season is now over officially. For all of these teams that have been eliminated out of Swiss, this is the end of their season. They can pick it back up in January or whenever it is that the next season begins.
Or look for new teams, because that's more likely what's going to happen.
Yeah, I would agree.
Agree. I mean, I had high hopes for M80, but they just have not done well.
Yeah, they did not have that dog in them.
Yeah, that one dog barking in your background.
Yep, exactly.
I had Winnie barking too, but I don't think the mic picked it up.
That's that particular dog.
Yeah.
But moving into playoffs here, we have G2 sweeping Dignitas. We have OG taking down Space Station 4-2. We have Luminosity losing to Shopify 4-2, and we have Moist taking down Gen G 4-1. Which, in that first round, like I feel like, I don't think it's unheard of that OG beat Space Station, but kind of the way they've been playing recently, making a grand finals in the last regional, I think that's a little bit surprising. But OG certainly has played well, and they showed why they're one of the top 4 teams in NA. But really, the biggest surprise for me is Moist taking down Gen G. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And it was 4-1. Like they did it.
Like convincingly.
Yeah. Like they lost the first game and then
won 4
won
straight.
the next 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
All 1-goal
I don't know.
games, 2 of them overtime, even fought through a timeout buff. Good to see the growth from them. I'd be curious if Moist is usually pretty loyal with their players. I'd be interested to see if they stick with this roster. I can't really see NRG sticking. Maybe somebody from the Snowmen gets picked up elsewhere, but that is a topic for maybe next week. And there's already some rumors that we've been hearing about orgs dropping their rosters now that they're done competing for the season till potentially the new year. So we'll have to wait and see what materializes with that. But that sets up our semifinals. G2 take down OG 4-2, and Shopify Rebellion take down Moist 4-2. So this is important, and we will talk about it more in depth at the end. But a Shopify win and an OG loss in the semifinals would set up a Shopify OG tiebreaker for the London major spot, the 4th spot in NA. And again, we will talk about that at the end when we talk about London. But G2 then has a date with Shopify in the grand finals in which they win 4-1 in pretty convincing fashion. They just seem to be the better team. G2, does everything that they need to do to win yet another regional.
I mean, G2 is still just the team to beat in NA.
I mean, based off of what has happened so far, they might be the team to beat in the world right now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Really, the teams that are consistent throughout the format. Falcons completed a perfect split, right? They won all their regionals. So, they're certainly, but is that, the strength of the region? Is that, they're just that good? We obviously saw them in Copenhagen, and they are very good. So, take that for what it's worth. They're one of the top teams in the world. G2 is, up there. Maybe you can say KC, but we won't see them in London. Gentle Mates certainly is considerably better on land than they have been online. So, we'll have to wait and see which Gentle Mate shows up. But we are getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. Is there anything else that you have to add about NA Open Qualifier number 6 before we jump down to EU Open Qualifier number 5?
Nope.
Okay. So in qualifier number 5, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Everybody knows how this went out, how this panned out now. There was no Carmine Corps. They did not make it. They were knocked out by SA. And, for the Swiss stage, we have a little bit of some newcomers to the top 2. We have Oxygen and Vitality going 3-0. We have Team 3, Gentle Mates, and Jobless going 3-1. And we have BDS, Grind Serve Resolve, and Top Cougars going 3-2, making it into our playoffs. And then just missing the cut, we have Fast 4-Wheel Drive going 2-3, Luna Galaxy, and Valiant going 2-3. We have the KC Killers, Bellingle, and Low Block going 1-3. And we have Daystar and Lamiza going 0-3. It feels weird not talking about Carmine Corps, not seeing their name at 3-0 or 3-1, but certainly good for someone like a Top Cougars, someone like a Resolve, able to continue to get into that top 8 because a Carmine Corps isn't there. So good for them.
Kind of crazy.
It certainly is, and again, we'll talk about it when we get to London. But this has ripple effects that are felt in every region, in my opinion. And show the volatility of the current format that we're in. But Suh, like my big kind of takeaways from the Swiss stage, Suh, after taking down Karmine Corps, are not really able to make an impact. They sweep Luna Galaxy in round 1, but then get swept out, losing to Gentle Mates, then to Resolve, then to Valiant. Oxygen looks really good, only dropping 1 game to Jobless. Again, only they played Top Cougars, who finished 8th, and Jobless, who finished 5th. But, still, you can only play the teams that you are drawn up against, and they did a good job taking care of business there. Interesting to see Vitality there again. Again, in that 3-0 spot, it kind of seems they went 3-1 in qualifier number 4. It kind of seems like they maybe are ramping up. So maybe they're peaking at the right time as we head towards the World Championships. But anything that you have to add about the Swiss stage?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you wanna take us away with what happened in playoffs?
Yeah. So quarterfinals, we got Oxygen sweeping Type Cougars, Gentle Mates beating Jobless 4-2, Vitality sweeping Grid Serve Resolve, and Team 3 losing to BDS 4-1. Then we go on to semifinals. We got Oxygen beating Gentle Mates 4-1, and BDS taking down Vitality 4-1. And then in the grand finals, that leaves us with BDS and Oxygen, and BDS take down Oxygen in 5.
That, in my opinion, is the closest we've seen to World Championship form BDS that we've seen in a long time. They dismantled Oxygen in the finals. 4-1 in game 2, and then in games 4 and 5 winning 4-1. So, they lost a 1-goal game, they won a 1-goal game, and then the rest were 4-1s. So a great showing from BDS. Again, they played Vitality very well as well, winning the last 2 games by 3 and 2 goals respectively. But EU was doing their best to speed run, the champion, like Saturday and Sunday, with only 6 games off of a perfect sweep for everybody, with the closest series being Gentle Mates versus Jobless, which was 4-2. But not really any upsets, not really any crazy close series. It just, the teams that were that had been dominant were dominant, right? So we see BDS, we see Vitality, we see Oxygen. So not super exciting playoff bracket in my opinion, but it does kind of set us up for a very interesting qualifier number 6, and it meant a lot for major implications and a world spot. So again, we will talk about the world spots and the major spots at the end, but not a whole lot to talk about other than domination by one team in the playoffs.
Yeah, kind of a boring bracket.
It was. NA did a lot better, and the NA tiebreaker was even more so. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But now moving into we know the teams that have qualified for Open Qualifier number 6 for EU. We know who have been eliminated from major contention. We know what teams have to play for. You want to run us down which teams made the top 16 for Open Qualifier number 6?
Yeah. Top 16, we got Gentle Mates, Vitality, Karmine Corp, BDS, Oxygen, Resolve, Luna Galaxy, Jobless, Team 3, Endpoint, Suh, Wild, 100%, Solary, Low Block, and Novo Esports.
So we'll do it. You got a best name for these 16?
Best name, Jobless.
I would agree. Okay. And then a quick note for people who have been following Rocket League for a while, this Solary roster that made this event is a team of KDOP, Shawset 45, and Astral. So
That's right. I forgot about that.
Little bit of a blast from the past for them there. So cool to see them continue to perform the way that they have. And especially, getting into this last one, they're not in any sort of contention for majors or for a world spot, but good to see KDOP, Shawset, and Astro getting back into the main event. But now comes the big talking point, and that is Carmine Corps. Carmine Corps qualifies for this event after missing out on Open Qualifier 5. And, you kind of think, like I did, oh, Carmine Corps is going to be hungry. They're going to, cakewalk through everything. Nope, they lose to 3-2 in the upper bracket in the qualification match. They drop down to play Bellingal, and they take down Bellingal in game 5. So it was not like they qualified through the lower bracket. And Bellingal is speed, temper, and hider. And, nothing against Bellingal, but they're not Carmine Corps. And they did not have
they're better.
Yet they might be at this point. But, again, I keep saying it, but we'll talk about it, once we get to our major spots and our world championship spots. But Carmine Corps needs to have a big event. They need every point that they can get, especially missing out on the London major points. So, they need to return to form, and I'm sure that Vatira and Co and Farah are going to be, very hungry to try and, right the wrongs and, do what they can to solidify their world championship spot, because, at the current moment, no one from EU has solidified their spot, right? And they haven't played the last event, so that makes sense. But, all I'm saying is G2 solidified their spot after qualifier number 5. So,
Oh, yeah.
But
they pressure's on for them. Like, I would hate to be in their spots.
I would too, especially with all the, how big Carmine Corps is, how big French Rocket League is, how much pressure is put on them by EU.
Yeah, imagine no blue wall at the Dickies Arena in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas.
It'd
be crazy.
It would be insane. And there is a lot to play for. All of the major spots and all of the world championship spots are at stake in this regional and at the major. We will talk about it at the end of the episode, but I think it is now time for us to jump around the world. Did you want to start us off with OCE?
Yep. Hold up. What is this number 5?
That's from qualifier number 5. We have a wrap up from that before jumping into qualifier number 6.
Gotcha. So teams making top 4: Power, Kib Gang, Chiefs, and Pioneers. And the finals are Power beating the Chiefs 4-2.
Okay.
And then for number 6, we got the top 16 as Power, Kib Gang, Reapers, Scythe, Genji, Pioneers, Tonka Trucks, Chiefs Esports, F1Z6 Gaming, Gremlins, Locked In, HSP, Soldier's Henchmen, Ops, Ground Zero, Gaming Gamers, and Composure.
Nice.
Very nice.
So before we jump into best name, EU, OCE, and APAC, excuse me, sorry, are the 3 regions that have not completed their open qualifier number 6. That will be taking place this weekend, the last weekend in May, or first weekend in June, whichever way you want to look at it. And we will have all of those major spots solidified as of Sunday. But, with that group that you have, what is your best name for regional number 3?
Oh, but there's a couple good ones. I got it narrowed down to 2, and I think you can tell which ones they are.
Might it be Tonka Trucks and Soldier's Henchmen?
I think I'd have to go with Gaming Gamers.
Oh, okay. That's not what I would have picked.
And Tonka Trucks. Yeah.
Okay.
I like Gaming Gamers. That's a pretty good one.
I think that's funny. But I really like Tonka Trucks.
I do too.
I think it competes. Hot take. I think it competes with World of Tanks.
It's not nearly as good as World of Tanks.
Okay.
It's like World of Tanks. That's like S tier name.
It is a really good one.
Like I have so many questions to the players of that team,
I'm surprised there hasn't
and
been
I
like a
don't
raid.
know that I'll ever get them answered.
I'm surprised there hasn't been like a Raid Shadow Legends or something.
I thought there was at one point.
Maybe there was. Maybe there was a team named
Yeah,
that.
I don't know.
But and then who do you have? Who do you think's winning this one?
Oh, who's winning this one? Ground Zero.
Okay. I'll take Power again. I
Yeah,
think that they're
yeah, that's fair.
it's still I think it's their region to lose. So,
Yeah.
but with that we'll jump to Sam. We have open qualifier number 6 that we'll recap here. So we have the teams making the top 16 as Furia, Gamer Legion, Team Secret, Crew, Complexity, Erased, Ninjas in Pajamas, Hero Base, W7M Esports, Barcelona, Atypical, Exile, Luck Esports, Team Mazus, Not Exposed, and Timeless. With the top 4 ending off with Furia versus Erased. And Erased are able to beat Furia in Game 7, and we have Team Secret taking down Hero Base to set up a grand finals of Team Secret versus Erased, where Team Secret takes down Erased 4-1. So I skimmed through it a little bit, but you got a best name from that top 16? Ninjas
Yes.
in Pajamas?
Yes.
Yep, agreed. Cool.
Currently looking through their shop right now, and I'm definitely going to be buying some of their stuff.
Especially if they make the worlds.
Oh, I don't care if they don't. I'm still buying their stuff.
Fair. That's a fair point. Okay.
They got some cool stuff on here.
Okay. Well, shout out Ninjas in Pajamas shop. You should go check it out. Next we have Mina, and we have open qualifier number 6, so we know the results of this. But we have the teams making the top 16 as Falcons, Ranger Esport, not plural, Esport, R8 Esports, Bravado Gaming, Anything, Team ROC, Twisted Minds, Espada, Atlantic, Victory Esports, G3 Esports, Joga Bonito, Vision Esports, Castle Black Esports, Plus 966, and Interstellar. Do you have a top best name from that 16?
I think Atypical. Oh, no, I'm an idiot. I'm looking at the wrong ones. Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking Mina, right?
Yeah, we're talking Mina. Atypical is a good one, though.
It's not better than Ninjas in Pajamas, though.
No. I kind of like Ranger Esport just because it's like one esport. Like it's
singular.
Yeah, singular sport.
Yeah, that is good. I like Anything. That one's pretty good. G3, I feel like we can just put in F tier right away.
They're not G2. They're G3.
Yeah. They're not good enough to be G2.
But also I do have to mention again that Anything is Nuepo's team.
Oh, nice.
So it's it's no longer Okhalid, it's Nuepo, Venom, and Misho.
Mm. Yeah, I think Anything or Ranger. I think you're right.
Okay.
And maybe that's just like a language thing.
It might be.
No, that can't be, because Victory has esports, Castle Black has esports.
They all have esports except for Ranger
It's
Esports.
actually not just a typo.
It says they're a Saudi Arabian esports organization currently hosting a Rocket League team. Just the one.
Okay, I guess it's just the one then. That's cool. I'm gonna go with that then too.
Okay. So
That's a good one.
We now have we know the results of this Swiss stage. So our top 4 are Falcons, Twisted Minds, Team ROC, and Anything, where we have Falcons coming up against Anything in the grand finals, and Falcons winning 4-0 to complete their clean sweep of Major 2 of all 3 regionals. They are your triple major champions for Mina, and great to see for them. Certainly good for the region, but it's their region to lose, and they have shown on the world stage that they are one of the best teams in the world, and they continue to prove it.
Yep.
You want to take us away with APAC?
APAC. Open qualifier 5. We got top 4 of Elevate, Sailing Esports, Gladiators, and La Fiche. In the finals, we got Gladiators taking down Elevate 4-2. And then for number 6 in the top 16, we got Elevate, Dreams to Legends, Sensationals, Overlooked, Gladiators, Yokohama F Marinos Esports, Sailing Esports, Le Fichet, ATK, Detonator, Grace's Blaze, Fanta Stake, Nimpt 55, MNM, Sulfur Dioxide, and Random Line.
You got a best name?
This one's kind of tough.
I kind of like sulfur dioxide. I feel like that's really funny.
I think that's what I'm leaning towards too. I like Le Fichet too,
Yeah, Lafishy is good.
but I think sulfur dioxide gets it. What
Okay.
is sulfur dioxide? Do we know?
It's a compound, right? So it'd be like sulfur with two oxygen molecules.
Well, yeah, but is it like does it have like a common name? Sulfur dioxide, chemical compound with formula SO2. It is a toxic gas responsible for the odor of burnt matches. Oh, interesting.
So basically, they're fire.
I like sulfur dioxide.
They're fire.
Nah, they're toxic.
Fair. Okay. I buy it. That wins for me.
Yeah, me too.
But do you have who do you think's winning this one? Noted that the winner of this one will go to the major. Although, like, it's
I
between.
want to say Le Fichet.
Okay. It's between. Currently, it's between. We'll talk about it here in a second, but it's kind of a 2-team race.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
But I will go Elevate.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. And then last but not least, we got Sub-Saharan Africa Open Qualifier number 6. The teams making the top 16 are Limitless, BTF Esports, 9 Lies Esports, Gene 6, Astronic Skill Quest, Snake's Den, Team Mobula, 77 Blocks, The Punishers, Bird, OnlyFans, PHANS, 2/3 Rule, Nixa, Stress Kabidi, Monarch Realm, and Drift Queens. I mean, for me, there's only one answer.
This one's hard. No.
Oh. Okay.
I think you're right.
Do you have a top?
But
Do you have a top 2 or
I have
a
a
top
top
3?
3.
Okay, what's your top
I have
3?
a top 3. 2/3 OnlyFans, Drift Queens.
Mine's a top 2 with 2/3 and OnlyFans, but I think I have to give it to 2/3 Rule. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Most notably, talking about the RLCS rule that you need 2/3 of your players to keep your RLCS points.
Yeah.
So,
who's on that team?
that team is. I'm looking right now. Okay, so 2/3 Rule is Kexi, Friction, Shulk G. 2 guys from South Africa, 1 guy from England. But we now know the results of this. We have the teams making the top 4 as Team Mobula, Astronic Skill Quest, Limitless, and 77 Blocks, with Team Mobula taking down Team Limitless 4-1. And now we can talk about everybody's favorite topic, and that is going to be rankings. Who's headed to the major, who's not, who's qualified, who hasn't, and where everyone is sitting for the World Championships. So we have, for North America, we have the 4 teams that have qualified for the major. They've solidified their spot, that being in order G2, Gen G, Space Station Gaming, and OG. But before we jump on and talk about anything else, we have to talk about the NA tiebreaker. Gibbs, his own personal wet dream is any kind of tiebreaker situation. And that, with Shopify Rebellion making a grand finals and open qualifier number 6, set up a OG versus Shopify tiebreaker. Winner heads to not only the major, but for OG, if they qualify for the major, then they will qualify for the World Championships. So this was a hotly contested series, went back and forth, ended up going to Game 7, where eventually OG takes it in a 4-minute, 38-second overtime, 1-0. That was a very, very entertaining series. It was very back and forth. A lot of the games were, 1 or 2 goal games, but you had a couple that were some blowouts. But both teams utilizing timeouts, and getting their timeout buff. But if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend going to watch it. It was very good viewing. Noli had himself a series, but we have our 4 teams qualified for the major, so I will be looking forward to seeing how they perform in Europe. In SAM, we have our 2 teams that are headed to London, being Furia and Team Secret. In MENA, we have Falcons and Twisted Minds. In Sub-Saharan Africa, for the first time, we have Team Mobula, EU Bubble, getting a 5th spot, taking it away from Limitless. In APAC, no one has secured their major spot yet, but the team that currently holds it is Elevate. But teams that are still in the hunt, so to speak, are Gladiators, who are currently tied in points with Elevate, LaFishy, and Sailing Esports. So basically, in my personal opinion, whoever finishes higher, Elevate or Gladiators, will make the major, and then because of that, will make the World Championships. In OCE, no one has secured their spot yet, but our current top 2 teams are Power and Chiefs, with teams remaining in the hunt, so to speak, are Kib Gang, Pioneers, Ground Zero, and HSP. And last but not least, we have EU. No one has currently secured their spot yet, but our current top 4 are Vitality, Gentlemates, Oxygen, and BDS. And teams that are still fighting for their spot are Grid Serve Resolve, Jobless, Luna Galaxy, and Team 3. So, like we said earlier, EU, OCE, and APAC are your 3 regions that have not completed their last qualifier yet. So by Sunday, you will know exactly which teams we will be seeing in London, and have a pretty good idea for most regions of who we will be seeing in Dallas-Fort Worth. So exciting times. Do you think that we're going to see any kind of upsets for OCE or APAC or EU?
EU, maybe. I hope so.
Yeah, I think
the other ones, no.
fair. I would tend to agree. But, last but certainly not least, we have our World's Outlook. So for the World Championships in Dallas-Fort Worth in September, we are a long ways out from that. But all 4 NA teams have been locked in, and that being in order G2, Gen G, Space Station Gaming, and OG via their tiebreak winning series. MENA has locked in 1 team, being Falcons. The second team for MENA currently sitting in the spot is Anything. They currently hold the spot by 5 points over Twisted Minds, but Anything will not be headed to major number 2, so Twisted Minds has a chance to solidify that major spot. In SAM, we currently have 1 team locked in, and that being Furia. Complexity holds the second spot by 2 points over Team Secret, but Complexity will not be at major number 2, and they need Team Secret to flame out if they have any chance of making the World Championships. And in APAC, we have Elevate leading the charge, with Gladiators tied with them, and the last person in that chasing group being Sailing Esports. In OCE, the current spots are in the hands of Power and Pioneers, with Chiefs, Ground Zero, Kib Gang, and HSP chasing them. As I said before, they still have 1 more qualifier to play, and some of these teams will be eliminated as they do not make the major. And then last but certainly not least, we have Sub-Saharan Africa. The team currently holding the major spot is Limitless, and the only team not eliminated and still chasing them is Team Mobula. And Team Mobula is going to London, but they are 27 points behind Limitless. So they will need a phenomenal showing at London to have any sort of chance of making the World Championships, which, quite frankly, I don't really see happening.
Yeah, they need a miracle.
They certainly do. So of the teams that we've talked about, of the teams that have not yet solidified their spot, do you first off, do you think Complexity makes it, or do you think Team Secret is able to win enough games to make a Worlds?
I hope Secret makes it. I want to see the dude with the big hat.
Yeah, I think they need to win 2. I think they need to win 2 series in Swiss to make Worlds.
Oh yeah, they can pull that off. Easy peasy.
Yeah. And then, do you see anybody realistically in OCE other than like Power, Pioneers, or Chiefs?
Nope.
Okay, so it kind of seems like a 3-horse race for those 2 spots. We talked about SSA. I really think it's going to be I think it's going to be Limitless going to Worlds. I don't think Mobula will be able to do enough, especially an EU bubble team that couldn't compete in EU. I don't really see them competing with any other regions.
Yep.
Other than maybe like an APAC.
Yeah.
APAC, to me, it's between Elevate and Gladiators. Do you agree or disagree on that one?
Between which ones?
Elevate and Gladiators.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe so. Elevate currently hold the world spot by 8 points, but a major appearance for them will put them like they will, if they make the major, they will make Worlds, because they will have beaten Elevate most likely in the grand finals, and that will take care of that. So, by Sunday, it's very possible that we do know most all of the teams that will be headed to the World Championship outside of Sam, because it's so close, and potentially Mina, depending on how Twisted Minds does at the major. But for the most part, I think we should be able to kind of see who will make it. I think Power have solidified their spot as well. So all the spots for the major will be decided this weekend, or after the London major, which will happen June 20th to the 23rd. So a lot of exciting Rocket League to happen, and then we'll have a little bit of an extended break for Worlds from the end of June until the middle of September. So about 2 months to for teams to get ready into boot camp and to prepare for that event in Dallas-Fort Worth. But was there anything that you had to add about the major spots, about the World Championship spots before we wrap up for today?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, that was kind of an information jam-packed episode, as we really tried to catch back up after our interview with Corelli, which, again, we hope you enjoyed. We wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit special for our 100th episode, and I think that was something that was it was really fun to do the interview. It was really fun to hear some of the stories, and to hear Corelli talk about his different experiences in casting and running the LG stream. So we hope that you guys thoroughly enjoyed that. Again, we have about a little under a month before the London major. So the week before the event, you can expect our major preview as we normally do. But until then, we will try to bring you the best content we can. We'll try to bring you some more interviews and some exciting stuff along the way. But with that, we would like to thank you guys so much for listening. We'd like to please remind you to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join our Discord, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts. Those 5 stars really help us out. Also, check out our Twitch, our TikTok, and our merch store. With we continue to add new items. Those T-shirts are still there. They're comfort colors. They're still fantastic. We'd also please ask you to check out our YouTube. With Google Podcasts closing, all of our episodes have been uploaded to YouTube. It's just a static picture currently as we work towards video podcasts, but it's really more geared towards YouTube Music, as you can listen to the episodes through there. But all of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball.
Thanks for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website at boostoverball.com.